everyone, welcome back to the series where I build a horse-related building in every single world. Today we're going to be building Oasis Valley Horse Rescue. In the last part, we made the Willow Creek riding facility. I think I prefer, Magnolia Blossom Stables, because the park that used to be here was called Magnolia Blossom. But we live and we learn. I'm really going to need your help for the next one though, because it is Newcrest, and as you can see, Newcrest is completely empty. Do I leave it? Do I build the entire world? Okay, that might be getting a little bit excited, but we could turn Newcrest into like a suburb horse area in the future. I don't know. I am really excited to get into this desert western horse rescue stable though. I did consider, I actually moved the land grabs into another house because I was considering building on their house lot because it was one of the bigger ones, and I did actually want to keep the park in this world, but I ended up not liking how it was on a cliff, that there's other houses nearby. Like, it just feels like not the area horse rescue would be. That being said, the Desert Bloom Park lot also isn't like perfect in my mind. Like, at least there's a little bit more riding area, like you can ride out the back there to some fishing spots, but I feel like Oasis Valley is a lot more closed in than I remember. Like, there's a lot of rocks around, but I think this is where we are going to build on this 50 by 50 lot. Now, I tried to do a little bit of research because obviously being a rescue farm, there's going to be like some specific things we need. I definitely want to, I saw in my reference pictures a lot more of those like metal fences. Specifically, I want one because I haven't been able to use this item yet, but this one here, this fence here, I haven't been able to use it yet, so I'm hoping to use it in this video. I don't remember seeing a matching, as always by the way, we are going to be using base game and horse ranch because Oasis Springs came with base game, but there's not like a matching fence for it. What am I meant to do? That's beside the point. But this is a residential lot this time, so we're going to have a little house. We're not going to do anything dramatic. We're going to have 2 separate stables because we want to have, like, when new rescue horses come in, I want to keep them separated. Obviously, this could be for like vaccinations, but also just one horse might be a little bit more frightened and dangerous. What's the right word? I don't know. Yeah, we're also gonna have like a training ground, I think, like an arena, and I might put like barrels and jumps in there, but in your own gameplay you might like switch around from a blank arena to barrels to jumps and just like put it into your household inventory as you need them, just so we can save some space because it's a 50 by 50 lot, but I feel like I do not have enough space. So let's get into it. Alright, you guys, so we are doing a speed build once again. Really do let me know whether you guys prefer speed builds or like build with me. I feel like build with me, it's fun to share tips and tricks with you guys, but it also takes me a lot longer to build and a lot longer to edit, and it's usually a longer video, whereas speed builds, I just get to sit here. I actually sat here in silence. I sat here in silence for I think 2 hours, and then I started watching Gossip Girl again. I don't know why. Like, I had full intention of either watching Netflix, watching YouTube, listening to music, but I just started building, and then I just kind of was in the zone. But anyways, yeah, I sat here in silence and built this for about, I think it took me about 3 hours or something like that, possibly a little bit more. But yeah, oh my gosh, how am I already forgetting what I'm about to say? One thing that I did quickly want to say was in the video that you guys are gonna see, I think it's tomorrow by the time you guys are seeing this. I actually just filmed it. Everything is out of order. It's fine. If you saw my previous Willow Creek riding facility building, and I wanted it to be like a boarding place where you could, or a trail riding stable where you could go there and you could ride horses if you lived in the city or something. Well, I actually found a mod and it's called the boarding facility lot trade or something like that. I'll link it in the description, and you can basically add it to the lot and horses will actually live at that lot and you can just go ride them. That might not make much sense, but trust me, you guys will see it in the mod video tomorrow, but like, it actually makes the riding facility functional just to go trail riding around Willow Creek for the day. But obviously this here is a residential lot. So basically, here we are building the house. Let me tell you, for some reason, I cannot do floor plans for the life of me. Like, if my family heirloom house floor plan is bad. Like there's so much space, but there's also not enough space. This one has such a weird floor plan. And it's a square. How did I mess up a square? But anyways, it exists. Obviously being built in Oasis Springs. I keep wanting to call it Oasis Valley, even though I know it's Oasis Springs. So I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to really fit it into the vibe of Oasis Springs, which is a Mediterranean vibe, I think. So I actually didn't look at an inspiration for that house, but I'm actually looking at an inspiration for the stable. I literally just searched up Mediterranean barn or something, and it is one of the first pictures that you see on Google. If you want to Google it, you'll probably be able to see where I took my inspiration from. And honestly, I think it is one of my favorite barns that I've built. Once again, I feel like I could have optimized it a bit better because I was only looking at one image. I just like guessed on the floor plan. It's a little bit questionable and there's a few like tight spaces. So I feel like it might be a little bit of a nightmare for The Sims, but it's fine. But I don't know. I just feel like I really like it. Okay. There's like this moment where I'm like playing around with so many different columns and so many different spandrels. I was trying to match the arch vibe that the original picture had, but I just was not getting it. But honestly, in the end, I actually kind of really like it. So yeah, obviously it's actually really cool, but you could, for I think it's 250 simoleons, you can actually rescue a horse, and they tend to come with maybe like the aggressive trait. I still don't know if you can train that out. It would be cool if you could, but I do wish that maybe there was a way to get a backstory on these horses as well, so that you could have like a cute little backstory about why the horse is in the rescue center. That would have been cool, but unfortunately it does not exist, which is a little bit sad. So I think at the start of this video I said there was going to be 2 barns, and I don't like, there's already way too many stables here, so you definitely need MC Command Center to be able to play in this house with all of the horse stables that there is, because I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there's like 9 horse stalls or something, and then there's obviously, it's like a family home, so there's actually, I decorated it, you could always decorate it differently, but I decorated it for a young girl, maybe she's a horse girl, so that's like 3 Sims with mom and dad, little girl, 9 horses. Like you can only have 8 Sims in a household, but if you have MC Command Center, you can actually make it bigger. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad to have empty stables. I feel like I have a paddock in this build, but I feel like my horses never use the paddocks. Like they're only in the paddock for the horse ball that I put in there. But I feel like, I don't think horses can graze. Can they graze on the grass? Because I feel like it's dumb that they can't. I think actually I saw a mod where they made grass that horses could eat from. Maybe I should install that so they actually like eat. You guys, it might be slightly out of time, but you guys should have just seen me doing some landscaping, or you're seeing it right now. And I actually like, because I don't often build, like honestly, it was just fun to build in the Mediterranean Oasis Springs style. So I basically just Googled Mediterranean landscaping, and I realized instead of a lot of dirt, they actually have like this pebbles or something, like little stones. And I was like, wait a second, that's actually really pretty. So I basically, instead of using dirt, I use these stones. I'm not entirely sure why that happens. Maybe like because the plants would still need the dirt underneath to probably grow, maybe. Although I don't think cactus need that, or cacti. Actually, there's like at one of the botanical gardens, I've loved visiting botanical gardens, but at one of them that I've been to, there's actually like a little cactus or cacti, sorry, garden area there, which is really cool. And I feel like I think they have the stones there. But anyways, maybe it keeps the plants cool, because obviously Oasis Springs is hot. It is very often having a heat wave. I wanted to basically incorporate that into the landscaping, which would have been cacti and things like that. I did include a little bit of grass. I included a bit of like the dead grass that you get from horse ranch. The good thing with Oasis Springs is that it's kind of, maybe they're different climates, I'm not too sure, but the new horse world, Chestnut Ridge, is also a little bit deserty. So I could use some of the landscaping items from horse ranch, and it still kind of fit into Oasis Springs, which is really cool. And inside the house, I also included ceiling fans because, I don't know, I just think it's fun. Like, it is easier just to include a thermostat in your house and your Sims just turn it on to like heat if it's cold outside. But I feel like it's fun to have like heaters and fans and things like that. Yeah, also inside, you might have seen this dining table. There's actually only 3 chairs because I wanted to add that little like plates hutch, I think it's called. And I wanted to add it too badly. The dining table is a little weird. Did you guys see what I mean by like the layout is weird? Like the parents' bedroom opens into the kitchen. That's funky. But I mean, I worked with what I had, and if it's functional, it has beds, then I guess it's fine. But the dining table is a little bit weird, but there's only 3 chairs because I wanted that hutch, but the 4th chair wouldn't fit there. And I was like, I mean, there's only 3 Sims living here, so it kind of makes sense. So that's what I did. I also changed some of the lighting in this house. Also, I don't think the kid's bed is functional. I think I have to change that before I upload it. I still have to playtest this. It's a little unfortunate because I like to have the little bed tucked away, but I believe they need space. Like they need to access the pillows. Maybe I'll just rotate the bed around. It'll look a little funky, but like it'll be functional. I don't know. Anyways, I changed some of the lighting, so like the kids' room has a bit of like a pink feel. I think I changed a lot of the lighting to actually be a bit of a yellowy, warmer tint so that it felt a little bit homey. I also used some debug vines. I'm like jumping around the place. I'm so sorry. I'm still getting used to filming speed builds again. But I used some vines because there's like this weird area. The barn is so flat on some walls, so I wanted to like maybe give the idea that it's been renovated at some point or something. So around the bathrooms, because there's 2 bathrooms in the barn, I don't know, maybe they're for the stable hands, because I feel like you definitely have stable hands here. There's also like an office little area. So around the bathroom is like stone. And then I'm usually someone who like, I want to build in a realistic way. Like when I do my roofing, I'm like, okay, we got to make sure that the water can run off the roof nicely. But then like inside, everything was just that like plaster color. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to add stone to some of these random walls. It's not going to make sense. Like the external wall, the internal wall, like why would that wall be stone? I took a little bit of creative Sims liberty and just added some stone walls because I thought it would be fun. Back to what I was saying, I swear watching the speed build means that I'm just like, my brain just keeps jumping around. Like I want to say something right now. Okay, there's keys in the office. There's like a little key set thing. And I liked the idea of those like keys in the office so you can access things. And they're like almost under the table. They're like hidden away a little bit. That was kind of fun. But I didn't end up doing 2 full stables because I realized that I did want to have that arena space with jumps and barrels. And I ended up putting a pasture in, even though, as I was saying before, I feel like my horses don't really use pastures unless they want to get their fun up. Which, by the way, the fact that like the horse ball things are glitched right now and you have to like replace them. I swear like every 5 seconds I have to replace them. It's so annoying. But that was like beside the point. So there is like the big stables and there's one stable with its own little pasture, which is like the quarantine stable. So I don't know if this is like super realistic to an actual rescue center, but I feel like I like the aesthetic of it. I feel like it's a nice build, maybe. I don't know. Also there's 2 walls. So one wall is actually the feed room and one room is the tack room with a little bit of clothing. I wanted to give the vibe of like, oh, there's some extra riding gear around. But it annoys me that you can't have like, there's only one, how do I want to mention that? Like there is that saddle block, so you have like saddles on the saddle rack, but I didn't want them all to be the same saddle. But to get different saddles or like different color and some variety, it has to be completely different wood tones, so it looks a little funky, but I think at the end of the day, I also still wanted this to feel a little bit like they've got what they can from like, not necessarily the side of the road, but things are a little bit mismatched. Some wood tones are a little bit more like run down just because they are working with what they got. I also went into debug at the end. I do currently have Better Build Buy installed. So, and unfortunately Horse Ranch hasn't been updated to that, and I was so confused why I couldn't see the Horse Ranch debug items, but then I found it, and I added a few signs around the place, kind of just to say like, oh yeah, I added big wall around the place, because if I was someone walking around and I just saw horses, I feel like you'd be tempted to walk up and say hello to the horse. But since these might be rescue horses, they might be a tad bit more aggressive in like an understandable way. They might have been mistreated. I just wanted to give the idea that these horses are trying to be separated from the public. So I built this in my Let's Play world, and Kyle Kyleson has decided to move into the rescue ranch, which is kind of funny. But okay, Kyle. Okay, Kyle, as long as you didn't ruin anything. As long as you didn't ruin anything, my guy. I feel like I spoke about everything and nothing at the same time. In that speed build, like, I feel like I already struggle and speak way too fast at the best of times, to then give me something that's sped up by like, I think it's by 10. In Premiere Pro, I do like times 1,000. Anyways, so it's like, my brain goes into overdrive. But here is Oasis. Here is Oasis Springs Horse Rescue, and I don't know, I think it actually ended up fitting into the world. Like, if we were in Manage Worlds, I'm pretty happy with how, when you look at all of Oasis Valley, oh my gosh, why do I keep doing that? Oasis Springs. I feel like you look at my rescue center and it fits in. It's got that like orangey roof. This is one of the signs that I was talking about that is a little bit of like a beware, this is a rescue center, so be careful around horses, because I recently went to a retired racehorse place, and you definitely even just see the difference between a racehorse, which is much more like highly strung, versus a very chill trail riding horse that the regular day-to-day person might be more familiar with. And I feel like rescue horses, they might have been mistreated and they're probably not going to be super friendly maybe at first. So yeah, I just wanted to give that vibe. Over here we have the little quarantine section. Like, did I really need this much? No, you did not need 2 feeders. But the horse has 2 feeders. They also have their own little horse playball thing. There's also some prairie grass as well. So yeah, this is definitely where I feel like, did I go too much for the landscaping? I also wanted to break up the big wall around the outside, because once again, I didn't want the public, oh, that's awkward. I didn't want the public to like walk by along this pathway here and just see a horse and that's not a pathway, that's a creek. Anyways, and see a horse and be like, let's pet that horse, and then the horse might be like, oh, scary. So I added a big wall, but I wanted to break it up. So there is a little bit of bush wall as well. It's, I don't know, I feel like I kind of like it. The chalk on these jumps looks a little crazy, but if you have the mod installed, which removes it, then I feel like it looks kind of nice. I think this is still functional though. I don't know. This is like, yeah, I don't know if the back of the building is my favorite, but like, who sees the back of the building? Like this here. This is what I was talking about with that like extra stone bit. I don't know if I like it or not. Oh yeah, there's also a pool, and I added like little fireflies and mosquito debug items. They're like in the garden hidden away as well. You don't actually see this in live mode, but I just thought it would add a little bit of vibes because there's little are mosquitoes annoying? Yes. But it's realistic. Mosquitoes buzzing around the pool because it is Oasis Springs. So I feel like a lot of the houses have pools. Oh yeah, I also put a little teddy bear on the bed. I thought that was cute. Maybe this is functional. I need to get Kyle Kyleson in here. I feel like despite the funky floor plan, I feel like this turned out nice. I feel like I'd play in this house. Kyle Kyleson's in secret? Where is Kyle Kyleson? Okay, well, Kyle is at home. Let's see. Can you... I know that Bluffy, whatever this thing's name is, it blocks one side of the bed, but I figured for a kid, it really does not matter. Kyle. Oh, it's functional! Oh, that's so cool! What else do I have to test? I mean, I wasn't too sure about these bathrooms. Like, this bathroom layout is a little bit weird, but it's also kind of fun. They're not identical on either side. Like, don't even question that. One is a shower, one is a bath. Would you look at that? I think most things are functional. I'm definitely like, I'm not sure how I went on the terrain painting or the terrain just like landscaping, but I feel like I like it. I also added this little bulletin board here, and it's really cool because it looks like a little rescue board, but you can also do ranch things and enter competitions directly from your home lot, which is really useful. I hate these fences. Like, they're way too short. I really like the fact that horse ranch came with this gorgeous tall pasture fence, but I believe that this fence is supposed to match in with like the teeny tiny one here. But like, I don't know. I just wish we had a taller version of these. There's probably a mod out there for it, but I don't build with custom content so that you guys can download this, especially if you're on console and you can't get custom content. But here we can kind of see there's some mosquitoes flying around. I believe there'll be a few mosquitoes in the garden somewhere here. Once it gets to nighttime, we'll be able to see some fireflies around as well. I did forget to put some plants in here, so let's just go ahead and add some lavender maybe. I had a lot of lavender around my house as a kid. There we go, now the plants have a little something in them. I don't like the fact that the picture looks like it's actually, because this is technically the park lot, so the picture is not pretty, and I feel like if people see this, they're not going to click on it. I don't know why it thinks it's custom content right now, but I will fix that. I'm scratching my head. I don't know what's in here that it could think is custom content, but oh, I know what it is. The horse trailers. I have a mod which makes the horse trailers functional. Anyways, this is Oasis Springs Horse Rescue. Let me know if you're going to download it in the comments below and whether you are going to rescue some horses. I'm pretty happy with this build, and I think next week we're actually going to miss Newcrest. Maybe we'll come back to Newcrest and build it out to be a full horse haven. But I think we're going to move on to Magnolia Promenade, which is actually a shopping district. I wonder what I'm going to build there. Potentially a horse store. If you're in Australia, then you might know what brand I'm going to look at. In fact, I have a fun idea for that video. Oh yeah, if you want to download it, you can get it on my EA ID. It's just another pixel, and that O is a 0. It's a 0. Just another with a 0. You can also check out my Willow Creek riding facility, and that video is on the screen right now. If you do download Willow Creek riding facility, which is a park, I highly recommend getting the mod that I spoke about in the description. I love you all so much, and I will see you all later. Bye!